everybody, and welcome back to another Vintage I Spy. In this video, we're going to go on a virtual treasure hunt, looking at the movie Look Who's Talking and paying attention to what is in the background. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love it. My kids love it. It was just back in the day when everything was simple, no technology. And of course, John Travolta and Kirstie Alley were just young and adorable, and it's just a fun movie. So here is the first clip. Okay, they're at her parents' kitchen table. Her mom's giving her a bunch of crap about why aren't you married yet. And if you look in the background above the mom's head, you see these bird figurines, and these are very significant. They're called pie birds. And you can tell the two there in the red circle are definitely pie birds because they have a little pedestal on the bottom. The other three on the left may also be pie birds, but those two definitely stand out to me. If you don't know what a pie bird is, I have a video about that in the premium library explaining what they are, what they're used for, and why they're collectible. Bottom line is that ceramic pie birds, also called pie vents or funnels, can sell for up to $250 depending on when they were made, what they're made of, the company that made them, if they have hallmarks on them, all of that criteria that determines an item's value. So, pie birds. Okay, they are still at the kitchen table, but you can see there the salt and pepper shakers. They are the mid-century modern wooden salt and pepper grinders. They don't look so beautiful, but they are worth money. Prices for these are really all over the place because there were many different manufacturers of this item back in the day. And when you do a search for wooden or wood salt and pepper shakers or grinders, there are thousands of results. So my assessment is the average sale price for this type of item is $30 to $50. And of course, you would look for these in the kitchen or possibly the wooden goods section of Goodwill. I have found all kinds of things mixed into those sections where they separate the items by the material they're made of. We have an aisle that's just metal items like racks and bookends and like wire planters. And then there's a section for wooden items, and you can find some gems mixed in back there. You just have to look for them. So keep your eye out for mid-century modern wooden salt and pepper grinders. Okay, here we have Mikey in his crib with some recognizable plush. You can see there the Garfield Plush in the background. And there's probably lots of other things in that crib that are worth money too, but that's the one that we're going to focus on here. And he is quite valuable. Any size Garfield Plush is a great seller. Garfield is easily recognizable in that sea of plush. So if you don't have time to look through everything, always check out the large size plush stuffed animals because those are going to be the most valuable. And of course, we're talking about vintage. So you can tell by the tush tag if it's vintage or not. The year may or may not be on there, but you can tell by when it was made and what company made it when you do your research to figure out how to price it. But the large size Garfield plush go for over $100. The medium to small ones go for between $25 and $40. So this is definitely a BOLO item to put on your list if you are looking at plush and stuffed animals. In this clip, Mikey is in his crib, and look what is next to him, the Fisher-Price Lovey bunny that sells for huge money. This is a great bolo. If you don't know about it, I have a video about it. The link is above. This has been on my bolo list for as long as I can remember. I have not found it yet, but I know one day I will, because this item sells for up to $150. It is vintage. Some of them date back to the 70s. There are different color variations. All of this is explained in the video I just linked to. But this is something I look for in the plush as well as in the linen section, because it's a hybrid between a blanket and a stuffed animal, so it could be either place. So again, if you're not familiar with that, check out the video and put that on your bolo list. In this clip, we've got Mikey in the kitchen, and if you look back on the counter is this funky looking vintage Panda Bear cookie jar. I researched this exact jar because there are quite a few vintage Panda Bear cookie jars, but this exact one you can see has him holding a cookie in one hand, and I'm not sure what that red thing is in the other hand, but this said made in Japan on the bottom, and there is no hallmark. So for this exact one, it sells for $35 to $50, but my tip for you is cookie jars can be worth a lot of money. So if you are up to shipping them, this is definitely something you want to look for. But this particular one, or any Panda Bear cookie jar, is going to be a good seller, of course, based on the price you can buy them at. There's a whole subculture underworld of cookie jar sellers, so there's a lot to know in this niche. But if they're less than $5 at a thrift store or a garage sale, it's worth getting it and taking it home and doing the additional research to see what you really have. Okay, here we are back in Molly's apartment, and if you look in the back on the right, you can see the highly coveted Starburst clock that we've seen on Money Making Mondays a number of times, and a fiberglass lampshade. Here's an example of the drum pendulum shade. This could also be called a pendant shade. It's made of fiberglass but feels like thick paper. They do come in different shapes and different colors and patterns, but these will sell for around $50 to $100. And then we have the one everybody's looking for, the Teak wood Starburst clock. This is the poster child of mid-century modern. There are many styles and colors, but it's the general circle with the starburst in the middle, and the clock face itself can be different colors. These can sell for up to $700. So if this is not on your BOLO list, put it on there now and burn this image into your brain so that when you're out treasure hunting in the wild, you will recognize it. This has been on Money Making Mondays a number of times, so just keep that in mind. In our last clip, we have a vintage Princess Touchtone phone. I always wanted one of these. Vintage phones in general are highly sought after. This particular phone, since we are analyzing this movie, the blue Western Electric Princess Touchtone phone, can sell for up to $100. Of course, depending on condition. And sometimes they don't even have to work. People see them as a collectible, as a decorative item. So many people don't even have a landline now, so it's not going to matter if it works. It's all about nostalgia, and maybe they had this phone as a teenager, or it was in their parents' house, or whatever the reason is that people may buy items for nostalgia. Just keep in mind that these old phones are highly sought after, and you may not even be able to test them to see if they work because you might not have a landline and you might not know anybody with a landline. So you can always list it as vintage condition, not tested, and explain in your description that you have no way to test it to see if it's working. They can return it if it doesn't work for them, or they may just be using it as home decor or even as a movie or TV show prop. So just keep that in mind if you're of the mindset that, well, what if it doesn't work? I don't want to sell a non-working item. Vintage items, sometimes it does not matter. Okay, well, that wraps up this episode of Vintage I Spy. I'm sure you all saw other things in the background that I did not talk about, so feel free to comment and point those out to me. And let me know if you enjoy this format. It's been a while since I made one, but if you like it and you give me enough thumbs up, I'll make more. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day on eBay. Bye.